Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Nama saya Lena binti Abdul Rahman. Hari ini saya akan meneruskan pembentangan kami dengan menjelaskan mengenai effects of occipital lobe damage. Basically, saya akan jelaskan keempat-empat effects ni, iaitu blindness, alexia, visual agnosia dengan blind sight. Baiklah, pertama sekali adalah mengenai blindness. Blindness boleh disebabkan oleh beberapa faktor, antaranya ialah accidents, diabetes, glaukoma. Glaukoma disebabkan oleh terdapatnya damage di bahagian optic nerves. Baiklah, blindness terbahagi kepada dua bahagian, iaitu partial blindness dengan complete blindness. Partial blindness ni terdapat 4 jenis. Pertama ialah hemianopsia, iaitu separuh daripada visual field seseorang itu hilang, sama ada horizontally atau vertically. Quadrantanopia pula, suku daripada vision field seseorang itu hilang. Peripheral vision loss pula, apabila outer side of the vision field seseorang itu hilang, berlawanan dengan central vision loss. Central vision loss, bahagian tengah of the vision field seseorang itu hilang. Complete blindness pula is totally sightless. It cannot be corrected with glasses or contact lenses. Next, beralih kepada alexia. Alexia juga disebabkan oleh beberapa faktor, antaranya ialah traumatic brain injury, stroke, or dementia. Alexia juga dikenali sebagai word blindness. Kata lain juga ialah acquired dyslexia. Alexia ataupun acquired dyslexia ni ialah kesukaran dalam mengeja, membaca dan menulis. Seseorang yang menghadapi alexia ni bukan disebabkan oleh masalah intelligence. Instead, it is a learning disorder. Okay, next is visual agnosia. Visual agnosia refers to the impairment in recognizing a visually presented object. Terbahagi kepada dua kategori, iaitu apperceptive and associative. Apperceptive visual agnosia apabila seseorang itu mampu untuk describe or identify the presented objects, but once mereka diarahkan untuk melukis or copy objek tersebut, mereka tidak mampu. So, apperceptive visual agnosia usually associated with lesions to the peripheral occipital cortex. Next is associative visual agnosia. Associative visual agnosia berlawanan dengan apperceptive. Mereka mampu untuk copy atau lukis objek tersebut, tapi mereka they are unable to comprehend or describe the objects. Associative visual agnosia usually associated with lesions to the occipital temporal cortex. Okay, there are several types of visual agnosia. The first one is achromatopsia. Achromatopsia juga dikenali sebagai color blindness, iaitu buta warna. Next is prosopagnosia. Prosopagnosia is the inability to recognize faces, but they're still able to recognize the non-facial clues like clothing or hair. Then simultanagnosia. Simultanagnosia apabila seseorang itu hanya mampu untuk identify one object, single object. Apabila terdapat beberapa objek dalam satu tempat, they are unable to comprehend them. Next is topographical agnosia. Topographical agnosia berkait dengan masalah spatial information. Then finger agnosia. Finger agnosia berkait dengan kesukaran untuk differentiate, membezakan jenis jari. Then akinetopsia. Akinetopsia juga dikenali sebagai motion blindness. Seseorang itu mampu untuk melihat objek tersebut, but they are unable to describe the speed or the direction of the object. Lastly is blind sight. Blind sight adalah salah satu daripada neuropsychological disorder. It is an ability to respond in a limited ways to visual information without perceiving it consciously. Blind sight ini, although they are unaware of the visual input, but they're still able to respond accurately without consciously seeing the objects. Sebagai contoh, mereka tengah berjalan, walaupun mereka tidak mampu melihat, namun mereka masih mampu untuk mengelak sekiranya terdapat halangan di hadapan. Sekian, itu saja daripada saya. Sekian, terima kasih.
Hi again, my name is Amira. So now we're moving on to treatments of damage to the occipital lobe. Here I included 3 types of approach. So the first one is optical aids, based on optical aids. This is what we see in our everyday lives. The people who are wearing glasses, spectacles. So it is the use of prisms, it is the use of mirrors. Some prisms or lens are stretched and some are monocular prism type. This is to improve the perception of the visual scene by expanding or relocating the visual field of the patient. Next is eye movement training approach. In eye movement training, there are 2 methods, visual search and as well as alexia and reading. So the first one, visual search, it's basically to provide an improvement in visual perception and obstacle avoidance. This one basically is we make large saccadic eye movements. We have to keep the eyes active by moving, like you have to keep moving your eyes, like see things left, right. ADL is activities of daily living, like road crossing or finding objects. So, and also computer-based ramp step search paradigm. So this is to make your eyes active. Next one is alexia and reading in eye movement training. This one is basically all about reading. Reading and training, you have to read from left to right, and as your accuracy increases, you have to increase the level of difficulty of the text as well. So this is to improve the eye in reading. Okay, the third approach is visual field restitution. It is improving visual processing. There are 2 types here, border field BRT, blindside BRT, and perceptual learning. In border field BRT, there are 2 methods. First one is by using computer-based therapy, and the second one is by scanning laser ophthalmoscope. In blindside BRT and perceptual learning, there are 2 methods as well. First one is repetitive training. Basically, we repeat the training over and over again to improve in our sensitivity, in patients' sensitivity. They relearn how to process visual information, and these improvements in detection and awareness are happening deep within visual field defects. The second one is perceptual learning by using an instrument or apparatus. It is to discriminate global direction of moving dots in a random dot kinetogram, RDK. Okay, this RDK actually works the same way as the staircase learning procedure. It is to correctly discriminate direction for coherent dots.
In conclusion, the occipital cortex is strongly associated with future integration. The essence of these theories is that the cortical analytic centers of separate properties of an object, color, are processed separately and in parallel with the processing of other information. To sum up, the occipital lobe is responsible to processing visual information and their integration into the general relations to the world, storing visual information, interaction with other areas of the brain, and partly tracking their functions, as well as the binocular perceptions of the environment.